and that 80% of all the nuclear power in the state of Florida is concentrated in a 135-mile stretch on the coast of southeast Florida. And I told him, most alarmingly, that Muhammad Atta and the Al-Qaeda cell were living in Delray Beach prior to 9/11. Everybody thinks they were out there learning how to fly. As a pilot, I can tell you. They were doing surveillance of the nuclear power plants in this area because if you read the Barnes & Noble's edition of the 9/11 Commission report on page 154, you find out that the initial plan of the Al-Qaeda plot was to hijack 10 airplanes to strike nuclear power plants. So the Jewish population here is a Yosef service, believe me. You read about this.
Next, I think it's Mr. Bud.
Thank you again for this time to be before you here tonight. There's two contrasting opinions up here. A record 41.8 million people collected food stamps last month. The unemployment rate has been above 9.5% for 15 consecutive months. That hasn't occurred since the Great Depression. If this particular administration is so strong on jobs, then I ask, where are they? According to Nancy Pelosi, food stamps and unemployment insurance will grow the U.S. economy and lift it out of recession. That's wrong thinking this. It doesn't make sense. I find those statements a little outrageous. If our administration would just get their foot off the throats of small businessmen, then this economy will grow out of a recession. We can't have such severe regulations that go on in this nation. 2,400, 2,700-page pieces of legislation. These are dreams of attorneys. And speaking of attorneys, where was tort reform in the health care law? That would have saved $400 billion. The choice is clear. When my opponent pledges to work for Obama in Congress, that's wrong. I don't see eye to eye with anybody. I pledge to work for the people. Remember in November, this bud's for you.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you everyone for paying such close attention. About 8 years ago, I sat down there as a member of the committee, as a member of the community, asking questions of the candidates, and I did that 6 years ago, and 4 years ago I was privileged to stand up here as a candidate for the state senate, and then I stood up here again at Temple Beth when Governor Christ came to sign the Iran divestment legislation that I wrote as a member of the state senate. And the legislation that we passed became a model for other states in standing up to the threat of Ahmadinejad, the threat of the nuclear armed Iran. But for these purposes tonight, it means much more than that. What it means and what it showed in the Republican legislature was that there are ideas that need to move forward, that aren't partisan, that at a time when some will make everything a debate between Democrats and Republicans, it's the, as I said earlier, it's the people who too often are left behind. I got into politics because I wanted to work hard on behalf of our community. And good ideas are good ideas no matter where they come from. I've been privileged for the past 6 months to serve in Congress and to represent this great district. I'm thrilled tonight to have my wife Jill and my daughter Gabby and my son Cole here. They've put up with an awful lot these past 6 months as I've tried to get my feet wet, and I've done it working hard on your behalf. I thank them for everything that they do for me and for this community. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve, and I respectfully ask for your support for another 2-year term.
We are very proud of all three